is Tuesday, right? So, so today's topic, are you complaining a lot lately? Yeah, that's a big one, right? Because you know what? I've noticed, good morning everyone, feel free to ask questions in the chat. So I've noticed lately that like even strangers, they have like a tendency to complain a lot, right? Like, oh, this is not working. Oh my God, look at everything. Everything went wrong. Oh my God, I feel stressed or whatever, right? And they always, and complaining, they think about complaining. And just for you to know, there's no judgment here, right? Because we all complain, right, in a way, right? So, but the key is to be aware of it. So complaining can be very very subtle, because complaining is can be like just thinking like a negative thought about someone, about like a certain situation, or to you can complain in your mind, right? Oh, why is it like this? I don't like this situation. But we don't know that actually by complaining we are delaying our own blessings, right? Because, and you know what? And the thing about complaining is that's okay to notice things that are, they're not going the way that you want them to go. That's okay to notice them. But but for me there are two choices when there's something that you don't like, and I'm going to share it later in the life. So there are choices for you to do, right? Because basically, what is complaining? Complaining is when you look at a situation, you make like a observation, a negative one, observation on the situation, and I don't know, like what is the benefit? Is there a benefit by complaining? It's just oh, this is not working. So the key that I learned, that you have two choices. You have two choices. You can choose whether you will continue to complain and it will get you nowhere, right? Or you can choose to change it. So especially if there's a situation that you always complain about, it means that there's something there to be addressed, right? So hi everyone, good morning. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. So today we're talking about, if you're just joining in, today we're talking about complaining, right? And I've noticed there's a lot of people, and we all do it from time to time, right? They always complain. They always complain about something, right? But actually, when we complain, and complaining can be really subtle. Complaining can be even like thinking a negative thought about something, about a situation, something that we don't like. And we don't know, by complaining, actually, we are blocking and we are delaying our own blessings, right? Because what's it a complaint? A complaint is just making an observation based on the reality you experience, right? Hi everyone, good morning everyone, right? So this is a complaint. A complaint is just an observation, but usually a negative one, right? And after, I have a question for you. After you are complaining about something, do you feel better? Just a question, do you feel better? We usually feel worse, right? Because hi everyone, good morning. Because what is complaining? Complaining is actually putting our focus on the things that we don't want to experience. But actually, by doing so, we actually anchoring in this situation in our life, right? So what I've shared, that what I've learned, that when you are complaining, you have two choices. You have basically two choices. You can continue to complain, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Or, because when we are complaining, it means that there is a situation that we don't like. So if you have control over the situation, you can change it, right? Because I noticed a lot of people, they are complaining, they're talking to me, and oh, Limor, I'm stressed and I'm whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I have like the tools for you. Like, here's are the tools. And oh, no, no, you know what? Like, they just brush it off and they keep complaining. So, it's no wonder that their life is going to, look the same because they don't want to change it. They just want to keep complaining about it, right? Because it's not, there's not judgment here. This is just our ego is built, right? Our ego is observing everything and making complaints and observations about everything, right? So, what can you do instead of complaining? What can you do? This is a question that we need to ask ourselves all the time. So, I'm complaining about the situation, right? So, but you have to, you have to do like a discernment. Is this situation it's something that you have control over and you can change it? Right? And in that case, if you can't change the situation, right? If it's like something global, right? So you can't really like do anything about it. So the option for you is to accept it. Because you can't really do anything about it. So what's the point? What's the point of complaining about it? You're just going to feel drained. You are going to feel more like, worse. And your focus is going to be about what is wrong about this situation. Right? So, okay, so when you are complaining, if you don't have control over the situation, you just need to practice to accept it. Right? And the other thing, if you are complaining about something in your reality, in your life that you do have control over, so you can change it. But a lot of the time, we are just addicted to complaining. We are just addicted. And and there's no judgment, but when we are complaining about something, and I catch myself all the time, right? I am telling it to myself. When we are complaining about something, we are actually being ungrateful. We are being ungrateful, and when we take things for granted, we are not giving thanks. And we always take things for granted. So what do you think going to happen? More things are going to be taken away from us. I know it's a little bit harsh, but I just want you to, to realize how damaging is complaining in your life. Because actually when we are complaining, we are actually take things for granted. Because there are things that are working in your life, right? But we choose to put our focus on the things that are not working and to complain about it, right? This is just how we are programmed. It's not. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with us, right? This is how we are programmed because we live in the society that just want to look. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Oh, we do like a shaming on social media. Oh, yeah. What's the point? If you don't have control over it, what's the point, right? But if you do have control over it, you can start to change it. But the real question is, are you willing? Do you want to change it? Or this is just become part of your identity? And if it's just become part of your identity, it will be really hard for you to change it, right? So I think that I learned it from Rhonda Byrne. She's the author of The Secret. If you follow in my life, I really resonate with her. So she said that every time, if you are catching yourself complaining about something, immediately change it and say, but I'm really grateful for, right? So if you are complaining about something, you can say, but I'm really grateful for that, let's think about like an example. Right? Let's think about an example. Okay, so let's say you are, being triggered at work or something, right? So you find yourself complaining and complaining and complaining, but you can say, okay, so you find yourself complaining, then you catch yourself and you say, you know what? But there's a lot of good aspects in my job, right? I'm kind of have my own freedom, I have a consistent, really good salary every month. I have like a few close friends. So when you catch yourself complaining and you shift it immediately, you actually just, I can't, emphasize it, you're changing things literally in your reality. You are changing things in your reality when you catch yourself complaining and you flip it around. There's a phrase, complaining is poverty and gratitude is riches. Right? Complain is poverty and gratitude is richness. So, right? Because when we are complaining, it's like, I don't know, it's not really like, have you ever seen someone complaining and that person look like really like, oh, I want to hang out with this person? This is really attractive quality. No, because when we are complaining, we are actually like, I don't know, like making things worse, like making everything like it's not really pleasant. And actually, we can feel it in our body when we are complaining. I had something, let's take it to another extreme. Like, I have like a client, right? And that client, she's like, she had a tendency to wish a particular person, she's not wishing them good things, right? So, because I know how the law of the universe works, so there's karma. Because what you give out, you receive back. So I told her basically just to stop do it, because every time we are wishing other people or someone something bad, it has to come back to the source. And we are the source. Right? So we have to be really vigilant about it when we are complaining, when we are saying bad things about others. Actually, it comes back to us eventually, because this is the energy that we put out. So if you find yourself complaining a lot, just make an observation. Tell yourself, okay, I'm complaining about this situation. Do I have control over the situation? Or do I not, am I not having control over the situation? So if you don't have control over the situation, you have to do everything to accept the situation, or just give it a different meaning, right? Because I know that everything is going, not as planned, or that thing is happening, or so you have to give it a different meaning, right? And if you can't even do it, you have just to release it and to accept the situation, because you don't really have control over it, right? So, but if you do have control over the situation and you find yourself complaining over and over and over again about the same situation, it means that there is something that you have to address something. There's something to be addressed and you are not doing it, right? Maybe you need to make some kind of a decision. Maybe you need to change something. Maybe you need to tell someone something, right? And that's another thing. We have problem, and it's really hard for us to communicate things to other people. Especially we are empath. Empath are people that can feel other people's energy, and we don't want to create tension with others. So because we don't want to create a tension with others, we stay silent and we don't say anything, right? And that energy comes back to us and turns into resentment, right? So do you know those couples that they're married like 10, 20, 30 years, and they're always complaining about the same things? Oh yes, yes, they're always complaining, but they never really want to work things out, right? They're just suffered a lot in that relationship, so this has become like the default mode to keep complaining about what's not going well, right? And they have like a lot of resentment, right? Oh, yeah, you know, like your father is doing it like all the time. Do you know those people? You know, so now because you have the awareness. If you are watching this video, you are highly aware being, right? So the next time you find yourself complaining about something, it's hard because it can be really subtle. It can be like a negative thought about something. Just ask yourself, you know what? But I am really grateful for, and fill in the blank, right? So that way you are going to reprogram yourself again, right? And in with time, like 1 year from now, if you're really going to take this practice seriously, you are going to be that person that always see the glass half full, right? And you know why it is so powerful? Because your consciousness and your awareness creates reality. So think about it. If there is something that's going wrong in your life and you choose to complain about it over and over again, you are actually creating your own reality, and you're going to experience more of the things you are complaining about. Do you know these people, like they're really like always expecting the worst? Oh yeah, this is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And eventually when it does happen, they're telling you, you see, I was right. It is happened. But they don't know that most likely that situation happened because they expected to go wrong, and the energy they projected out into the universe is an energy of, yes, this is going to happen. I don't like this situation. But what we're focused on expands, right? So for you today, if you have questions, go ahead and ask in the chat. So for you today, if you find yourself complaining, just remind yourself that when we are complaining, we are actually creating our own, not so good reality. What we're actually creating our own, we are delaying our own blessings by doing so. Because when we are complaining, we actually taking things for granted, and we are not giving thanks for everything. So just to wrap this up, complaining is poverty. If you want your life to be better, and if you want to experience positive things in your life, you can't really complain all the time. And if you do find yourself complaining, so ask yourself whether you have control over the situation or not. If you do have control over the situation, if you don't have control over the situation, just learn to accept it. What? Change the meaning. And if you do have control over the situation, and if something that you complain over and over and over again about this thing, so you need to take action, right? You need to take action and to think about what you do want to experience, or ask yourself, what do you want to do to change the situation, right? Maybe you need to communicate something to someone, right? Maybe you need to communicate your needs, right? Maybe you need to do something, right? Like physically do something to change something. Maybe you are in a situation that you don't really like, so maybe you just have to, leave the situation alone. Maybe you have to remove yourself, right? Maybe you are arguing, like let's say you are arguing with someone, you just have to remove yourself physically, so you will know what to do. So when you find yourself complaining, Ask yourself if you have control over the situation or if you don't have control over the situation. If you don't have control over the situation, the one thing that you can do is to change the meaning you give it. Right? And if you do have control over the situation, ask yourself, what can I do to change it? But just living in a constant loop of complaining or thinking about what is wrong in my life. Oh my God, I feel anxious, I feel worried, but you don't really want to do the work, the inner work. There are tools, you know, there are tools that you can do. And I'm telling you this because I'm going through this all the time. I'm not perfect. But the difference is now that I have the awareness and I catch myself. And when I catch myself, I know exactly what to do, right? So remember that complaining is poverty and gratitude is riches, right? Like I said, if you are seeing someone that complaining all the time, you don't want to hang out with this person, right? It's repelling. Like, oh, no, this person, my head is full after I hang out with this person, right? Because he's always negative. He's always complaining. He's always like gossiping about someone or something, right? You can't really tolerate it, right? So be aware where you are complaining or when you are around people that are always complaining. Be aware because you have to protect your energy. Because complaints actually it's just putting your focus about the lack, about what you don't have, about what's wrong, about what is not working, right? And then we ask ourselves, oh, why is my life is not working? Why am I not experiencing what I want? Why don't you? Why don't you think? Right? Because you are constantly focusing on the thing that you don't want to experience. You constantly focusing on what going wrong in your life. You constantly complaining about that person and that person, right? So why? So just remember that our life is like a boomerang. Everything that we put out, we receive back. So just notice. What energy are you putting out to the universe? Right? What energy? Are you thinking about what's going wrong in your life? Are you thinking about what is not working? Are you sitting there complaining all the time? It doesn't really feel good, right? It doesn't really feel good in our body, right? Let me see the comments. I have a glare. Yeah, can you wish my son happy birthday? His name is Gain Eaters. Tell him happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday. I hope I pronounce it well. Gain Eagers. Happy birthday to you. I wish you the best year of your life. And remember that everything you want, you can accomplish. Remember it. Yes, so yeah. So have you noticed how do you feel when you think about, when you think about good things, when you wish good things to others? You know why? Because life is a boomerang. This is what we call cause and effect. This is karma. What you put out, you receive back. So this is so crucial. When we are complaining, the energy that we give out, it's not a positive energy. We don't want to experience it, right? We don't want to experience it. So remember, let's dive deep to quantum physics says that actually you are the only one in the universe. Yes, no one really exists. It's like you are the main character and everyone are just, players in your reality. Yes, like because there's like a research saying that the universe is mental. What does it mean that the universe is mental? That the universe is most of the time actually in your head. And what you see in your physical reality is just a result of what's going on in your head. Right? So everything is a perception. That's why you can, you can be, you can have like the same, let's say, like, I give an example. Let's say two of you like going to a play, right? To see a play. And so when you come out from this like theater, I'm going to ask you, so how was the play? So one of you is going to really like it. And one of them, you know what? No, I didn't like it. But you were at the same place, you watched the same thing, and you were around the same people. So what does it mean? It means that everything is a perception, that reality doesn't really like exist in the way that we think it exists. It's a perception, right? And like I said, there's like a research, I think in 2022, two scientists, they won Nobel Prize, and they found out that the universe is mental. It means that everything is in our head. So just think of you, if you are like the only person in this universe, right? Because you experience the universe inside your head. So everything you give out to someone, you receive back, right? Because for your subconscious mind, you are the only one who exists. So if you are the only one that exists, so everything, like if you are saying, if you are wishing good things to others, you are going to receive those good things back to you, because your subconscious mind thinks that you are talking about yourself. But if you are wishing negative things to others, or if you are complaining, so your subconscious mind thinks that that's what you want to experience. So this is how crucial is the thing that you are thinking about, the energy that you put out. And I'm not saying we are not perfect. We are going to be triggered from time to time, right? There are certain things that are going to trigger us, and we are going to respond in not such a positive way, right? In the moment, we have like an emotional reaction, and that's okay. That's okay. But just don't do it like consistently over and over and over again, right? Just notice the energy. And being nice to people or thinking positive and nice thoughts about other people, actually, it's not just, oh, I'm nice and think. Actually, if you want to make your reality better, you have to make it your priority. To think positive most of the time. And we can't really be positive most of the time and to be like, oh yeah, I'm just thinking positive all the time. Positive, it means being neutral. Being neutral is that you don't have really like a lot of emotional reactions to things, right? Being neutral, it means that you are at peace with what's happening right now. That's being neutral. That's being, when I say being positive, it's actually being at peace, right? So this is really important. This is really important. It's all about the first step. It's about the awareness. If you're catching yourself complaining about something or someone, or if you catch yourself, because we all do it, right? Wishing, bad things to others. We are not angels, right? We are going to do it from time to time. That's okay. Just catch yourself and tell yourself, you know what? I know that reaction are not going to be beneficial for me. So I want to change it, right? Just by being aware, just by holding that awareness, you're going to change your all reality. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Let's see the comments. No idea if the topic, no idea if it is the topic, but I don't understand what he wants. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so the topic is about, complaining and thinking poorly about others and thinking negative stuff about, a certain situation or about other. So this is really crucial for us. If you are telling me, you know what, Limor, you're just complicating things, I don't, just start to be aware. If you take one thing from this life, start to be aware. Start to be aware when you are thinking negatively about a situation. And the next step is to ask yourself, do you have control over the situation? If you don't have control, let it go, change your perception, change the meaning you give it. If you do have control over, ask yourself, what can I do to change it? And if it involves yourself, you can work on yourself. You can use a lot of tools. If you like, complaining, oh, I always have this anxiety or whatever, there's like a lot of tools that you can use for anxiety, right? There are certain, you can start breathing, right? You can meditate for a few minutes a day. But they will question whether you want to do it or not, right? So there's always a way. There's always a way to change things, and the real key is just start to be aware, right? So just have to be start to be aware. So I hope you enjoy this live, right? So if you have question and you're watching the replay, go ahead and ask in the comments. And I hope you enjoy this live. And so my mission for you today, every time today, when you catch yourself thinking negative about something or complaining about something, even in your mind, ask yourself if there is something that you can do to change it. Okay, so I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this live, and I'm going to see you in the next live. Thank you so much. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.